Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so today we're going to attempt to do something a little bit different than what we normally do. So you actually need a piece of paper. Hold on. There we go. A blank piece of paper, a Sharpie marker or a black crayon. Sharpie marker or a black crayon. And then just like regular markers like these, okay? And then you will also need a cup of water and either like a paintbrush or a Q-tip. So we're gonna attempt to paint with marker. I know that sounds really weird, but we'll see how it goes, okay? So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put our paper down horizontally because we're gonna be creating a landscape. So for our landscape, we are going to be showing that some trees are in the front of the picture and some trees are in the back. And this is going to show the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do when drawing a landscape always is to be drawing our horizon line, which should be somewhere in the middle going across the paper. It could be straight or it could be, if you want it to look like hills, you could do it kind of like wavy across, up to you. Okay, so we're gonna be kind of doing like some Christmas trees, also known as pine trees or evergreen trees. And just one thing to note about these trees is that they are not like perfectly drawn. Like anything that like occurs in nature is never like a perfect line or a perfect anything. So it could totally be not a straight line. It could be however you draw it, it's not gonna matter. So don't try and make it perfect. Don't go get a ruler and try to make perfect straight lines. That's okay. Okay, so starting at the top, I'm gonna draw a line. And then at the bottom here, I'm gonna make my tree trunk at the bottom a little bit thicker. And then once I go up, it's gonna get thin, okay? So then this is gonna be just kind of shaded in here. And I am using a Sharpie or a black crayon for this step. Okay, it has to be one of those. It cannot be a regular marker. Otherwise, if you are doing the painting part with us, it's gonna, like, that black color is gonna bleed through the paper, okay? Then next thing you are gonna do is you're gonna draw your lines going across and some branches. You can draw as many of those as you want. So when I do these, again, like, they don't have to be perfect. They can just be kind of like, so, and then also remember that pine trees kind of go from like skinny to like wide. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep adding some branches in here. You can add as many as you want. Okay. Then I'm gonna add a couple more trees. So I'm gonna make one look like it's a little bit further away in the space. So remember, wide to skinny. And then I'm just kind of like shading in my tree trunk. Sorry guys, I don't know why it keeps going light like that. Okay, so then small to medium lines to wide lines. And then you can add some more branches on there. Okay, and I think I'm gonna do one more tree. You could probably fit some more if you want. However much time you have, you can pause the video and add as many as you want in here. Okay, I'm gonna do one more over here. So again, skinny, then to wide. And then just kind of shade in that tree trunk there. Okay. And then draw your lines across. And then add some more branches. Okay, I think that's good. I could fit another one here, but I'm not going to right now. Okay, so now comes kind of the fun part. So we're gonna make these kind of look like a Christmas tree farm. So if you wanted to add anything else in your picture, like you could like add like a little sign here in the snow or whatever you want it to be. That says like Christmas trees or Merry Christmas or something. If you want to make it more Christmassy, you can totally do that. Okay, now the next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna take regular like Crayola markers, or it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be Crayola, just any brand of markers, and you're gonna be adding your green to the trees, okay? So what I did was I actually used 3 different shades of green. These are the 3 that I have. So I have regular green, I have this lighter green, and then I have this teal green. If you don't have more than 1 shade of green, that is okay. You can do green and blue as well. Or you can do green and yellow. Or you can do blue, green, and yellow. Okay? So I'm just going to do my shades of green. But you do need to choose more than 1 color. So if you only have green and blue, that's fine. If you only have green and yellow, that's fine. Okay? So what you're going to do with these is you're going to just kind of quickly make some lines in here. Just kind of like with all the colors. I'm just going to kind of skip around. And you guys will notice I'm just kind of doing this like pretty quick. So I'm not like spending too much time. With the markers, like I'm not like making it look perfect, because remember we talked about this, like it doesn't have to be perfect. These are things that occur in nature, so they can be imperfect. So I'm just kind of drawing these like pine needles all around and around. You guys see that? So I'm just going to keep adding these different colors in here all around. And so then I'm going to take this one and keep going. I just kind of want to fill up my space to make it look more like a full Christmas tree. Does that make sense, you guys? I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Okay. So trying to do it kind of quick. There we go. Okay, so basically you're going to do that to every single one of these trees. Adding these little lines all over with the different shades of green or blue or yellow. Okay, then once you're done with that, if you want to add some different like little hills in the snow with one of the colors, you can definitely do that. Okay, now comes the fun part. So obviously I would continue with these little lines all over the rest of my trees, but I'm just going to show you on what I have done so far. Okay, so now you are going to take a cup of water, just a small cup of water. If you have a paintbrush, you're going to use that. If you don't have a paintbrush, you can use a Q-tip or something like that to paint it on. Okay, so you're gonna actually just be painting water on there. So I'm just dipping my brush in the water. Okay, so this is painting with marker. So it's definitely different than what we normally would do. Okay, so I'm just taking plain water and I'm going to place it on my marker. And I'm just kind of swishing it around, and you will see that it is actually turning it to paint, and it's blending the different greens that I had in here together. Now, if you did blue, it'll blend the blue and the green. If you did yellow, it'll blend the yellow, and it'll make it a slightly different color. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with this one. All the way. If you run out of water, you can always go back to your cup and get more. So you would continue to do that. You would do that with all of your trees. And then I added these little lines so I could add some blue to my ground. If you want to leave part of it white to make it look like snow, you can do that. Okay, so that is painting with marker, my friends. You would actually want to let this dry completely before you do anything else to it. But once it is completely dry, so I'm going to bring my final one back up here. Once this one is completely dry. Once it's completely dry, then you can add other things, like if you want to make these into actual Christmas trees and like decorate them with like ornaments and a star and those kinds of things, you definitely can do that. I'm just gonna, I don't know why it keeps going like that. Okay, so like for example, if I want to add like a star, I would want to make sure that I did that once it's completely dry, otherwise the colors will bleed together. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Sorry guys. And then, you know, if you wanted to add any like little ornaments to the tree, you can do that right on top of your dried marker. Okay, so this project, you should have had a horizon line. You should show some trees in the foreground, which is the front of the picture, and the ones that are in the foreground should be bigger and they should make it look like they're closer. The ones in the back or in the middle ground, like this one here, should look like they're a little bit smaller, so they're a little further away. So this picture should show space. Now, if you're doing this project and you are not painting with marker, and you are just going to be coloring it in with marker without the painting part, that's fine too. You could totally leave it as how it was. You don't need to do the painting part. I just thought that would be a fun little detail to add if you wanted to, but that would be up to you. Okay, and then obviously if you wanted to paint, you could paint the sky. If you wanted to color the sky, you could do that, or you could leave it white to make it look like snow. That is totally up to you. So I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys have a great Christmas, and I will see you after break, okay? Bye.